Hey everybody on YouTube. It's 2020. It's October. It's the week before Halloween, and I know we've gone through our canning and we're pretty much done. But if you weren't aware of it, there was a shortage on both lids, jars, bands, pretty much everything. Now, I did okay. I was able to can what I needed. This is more of a pickle, so I don't care about that. But I was even running a little short, and I usually stock up in the fall, and I mean not in the fall, in the winter and in the spring. So, it, and things were scarce, people. You couldn't find canning jars at all. I got some leads to how to find and where to find them. I'll give you that list at the end of the video, so if you stick with me. And then the other thing I want to get into is the old bale tops and reusing these. Bale top lightning jars. I don't have any hi-hats. Everybody knows you can use the Tatler seals on these. We're going to go with these first. So they say after 5 years to not use your rings. These, pull them apart. They're not degraded at all. Okay. I bend them. Ready? Bend them. Pull them apart. They look good. I inspect them all. Don't pull them on this part. See the ridge in there? That's there for a reason. So, as you can see, this is really old stock. In fact, I bought it at a yard sale. So, I was using these for dry goods because that's what you're suggested to use your old bale tops for. Now, with bale tops, they suggest not to use these because you don't have an indicator if you didn't get a seal, okay? And you can get what's called a false seal. You can get a false seal with a regular bale top, a bale top, a regular mason jar. You can get a false seal. And what that means is you've broken your seal and bacteria's gotten in there, and now you got a dangerous thing going down. When I store these, cure them up, and see that's completely off, right? That's a good seal. All right. I would store them like this with the lock bale up. Because if you did have something grow in there and you lost a seal, if you tried to go like this, it'd be no bueno. So, like we're showing, that these are really those old rings. I cannot get that off. That's what this little cutouts for you, just like that, and you break the seal. I mean, and this is the type of thing, because it's glass, you don't want to jam a butter knife in there or a spoon, okay? And obviously, I had these kicking around from Grandma, and I said, man, I'm going to break those out. I'm going to figure some things out. I did these. I just canned water, basically, and I did it like 2 or 3 times, and I got pretty good seals each time. Okay. These here, these ones don't seal as well. I found these at Ace, and I found these at Michael's Crafts. These are for dry canning on these. If I had to use these, they don't fit. See how they don't fit correctly? With the red rubber ones, you got to kind of stretch them over the lip. If I had to use these to can something, these would be the first out of my pantry. I wouldn't let them sit a whole winter. But that's been sitting for 2 or 3 days, and it's still got a decent seal. Now, I came up with a real gorilla hack. I know because I've tried this one a couple times. I could never get it to seal. Always check here, make sure you know you got no cracks in the other ones, any chips, because you won't get a seal. I found out that regular canning lids fit. I said, man, they fit on there pretty damn good, right? But this won't push them down. It won't push them down, so I can't water bath them, and I can't get a decent seal. Aha! Watch this one. And this lid, this particular lid, had a microchip somewhere. Microchip. Right there. There's my microchip. So I couldn't get a seal with this one with the white band or the red band. Alright, so I switched it out. So, like if you have one with a chip, you can always use it for this. Watch this. Alright. Okay. See? I took an old lid and I doubled them up, and it was just enough where it pushed down on the first one. Now look. Okay? That's not popped. I can't get that off, not without a tool. So that's a good seal. Now on a regular mason jar, as a lot of you know, you can use a spoon to break the seal. That's the only downfall on this, is you have nowhere to slip that spoon in to break it. Ugh. In fact, these are all used lids, and we'll get into that in a minute. These are all old lids. As long as you got a good chunk of glass here and a good way to tell, and you heard that pop, just run your thumbnail and give her a good look. I mean, really, really, really scrutinize these jars. So that is, I would trust food in this. I would can food and trust it in this, because I know. I mean, you just saw. And I did, like I said, doing this a couple days now to make this video, and I never got it to fail, even with an old lid. And this is just an old lid I found in the junk drawer. In fact, this lid, was this the one? Yeah, this was the one they pulled off. That's where we just got it with the spoon now, a little dent. But this one had a dent there, and you can always tell they're used because there's a nice big divot right there from the old jar lid. All right. Okay, so we went through that. Now, this is a regular canning jar. This is how I would store my canning. And this is common sense food safety. Get it to, after you bring it out of your water bath and you tighten it down, loosen it up a little bit. That way you don't get that false seal. If it's going to burp and lose a seal, let it burp and lose a seal. Because, oh, damn. Should have used a spoon on that one. Because the last thing you want is if that burps and food comes out, right? And you got this thing tightened down, now it dries, you go to take it off, and it's basically glued down there, and you think you got a good seal. No, man. So, I mean, some people will store them just like that, popped in and cured and ready to go, which is a decent way. I mean, I can see that, but I like to keep that way if you knock it over, it's less likely to make a mess in the pantry. It's just, you know, there's tight and then just a little bit. So, I mean, there's a little wiggle room there. The other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to stack them, because you will get that false seal again. It'll pop up. You got this pushing it down. It'll glue it down, right? Right on. It's common sense. Use brain that God gave you. Now, everybody knows about this trick. These are actually production Atlas jars from tomato sauce, tomato gravy, spaghetti sauce, I think you all call it. Everybody knows that trick. That the bands, okay, and the lids will fit, okay. And then, like I said, these are all used lids. See how thick that? See? All right. Yeah, these are all used lids that I used for this experiment. And I only had the one that failed, like I said, on the glass top. Now, this one here, the Barilla, you probably have been throwing these away because your rings don't fit. Because this is a lug top. This has got the little lugs right there that hold it down. It's not threaded. Well, it's threaded, but it's threaded for lugs. So, watch this. Okay. See my little poppet? Watch. See? Like it's been opened. This, watch. This isn't my lid. That's my lid. Right there. Like I said. Damn it. And there's this trick doesn't work on these. You're going to definitely ruin these lids. So, see? So I'm using the original lug top as a ring. Okay? You got to kind of finagle it. You got to kind of hold it down and kind of finagle it. But you can get her on there. And then just stick her on there, and like that's off, and then just, oops, you gotta kind of feel it, like right there. Right there, it's catching, but it's not down all the way, right there. Now I'd water bath it, and I'd tighten it down the rest of the way. Okay, let it cool, take it off, and there's your poppet right there. And this one I would probably store like this. Like I said, false seal. I wouldn't want that. This is a regular lug top. Okay. This is obviously from tomato gravy, but lid no fitty. Now, I've been told, and I've done a little research, and you can buy these new. There is one manufacturer. I'm going to let you Google that because, yeah, you basically got to be a distributor. Yeah, I might end up changing my channel name, and actually starting to ask for subscribers because there's two companies that I'm talking to right now that through this whole thing, I was able to find canning supplies, and I'm not going to give you their information right now. I'm going to give you some other information where I saw them. Yeah, I might be a distributor for them, so I might need some subscribers. And then jelly jar. This one actually had nuts and bolts in it. Fresh from the garage. Poured the nuts and bolts out. Canned it. Nice. Okay. When it comes to your lids, a lot of people say boil them. Boil your lids, boil your bands. When they go to use used lids, pour the boiling water on them. It's a new lid. This is an old lid. I wanted to show you the difference between the two. I scrutinize them, like I said. This is a new lid I did not like. And this is an old lid that I'd never use. It's got a couple flat spots. It's got a spot where someone pinned it. It's got paint missing here. And that band is really thick. And I wanted to show you another thing. Is take your lids and put your fingers down on the rubber and try to rock them. I use my stove. I mean, you can feel that rock. All right, so you know that this is not square. and I wouldn't use this. Now, we're going to get to the fun part. I'm going to tell you all where I found canning supplies. I got a couple notes that I got to talk to about on this. AllAmericanCanner.com. They had mason jars, and they had some lids in covers. They do have Tattler bands. As you know, you can use Tattler bands in your high tops and your old glass tops and your bale tops. You can even take a Tattler, and I've seen people, I don't know if I'd trust it, put a Tattler in a used lid like this and use that on top of a regular jar. So AllAmericanCanner.com, CanningLid.com, they had them through this whole thing. That might be one of the places I got them from. Michael's Crafts. Now, you got to watch Michael's Crafts. They sell a little, I mean, if you're desperate, it's okay. They sell like a 5-pack, and it's like $4. And it says on the top, and it's not these, it's these. And it says on the top, can be used for canning. They probably, because they don't have like ball or anything on them, they're just metal. They probably came from the same factory, but they're factory seconds. If you looked at the ones from Michael's, the rubbers weren't all flat. They were they weren't all nice and uniform. So they probably didn't go through QA, whatever. I used them. I wish I kept them before I started this. That's what gave me the idea. I got 2 or 3 packages, and out of those 2 or 3 packages, I probably threw away 4 or 5 that I just did not want to use. Used the rest of them, and actually had one fail. I did not pick up on the fact that there was like a bubble under the rubber. I didn't push it down and see that there was a bubble under the rubber in there, and it obviously failed. So that's one source for jars and lids, but I'd watch the lids. Believe it or not, Ace Hardware. I live in a really rural area. Ace Hardware had it sporadically. If you went to the ones in the city, you could definitely find them. And I did find them during this. Grocery stores in the city, those, it hit or miss there, but I did see them occasionally. Lehmann's, Lehmans. They're an online Amish supplier, and they ran out pretty darn quick. I thought they would definitely come through for me. I jumped on the website, and yeah, they're on back order. So desperate times call for desperate measures. Do what you need to do. Use your brain. I did some experimenting, so you don't have to. And now I'm going to end the video, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to save my old bale top, because I don't want to ruin that seal. Because I'm cheap. All right, we're all in this together.